Truly, God, the Exalted, in his earth has vessels, and they are the hearts of men. Those most beloved by him, the Exalted, are the gentlest, the clearest, and the most robust. Then he explained, saying, the most robust in religion, the clearest in certainty, and the gentlest to the brethren. This is a reference to the statement of God, the Exalted, hard against the unbelievers and merciful among themselves, 48-29, and the statement of God, the Exalted, his light is like a niche, within which is a lamp, 24-35. This means as the light of a believer in his heart. Again there is the statement of God, the Exalted, or like the darkness in a vast deep ocean, 24-40, which is an illustration of the heart of the hypocrite. Zaid B. Aslam said of the statement of God, the Exalted, in a preserved tablet, 85-22, it is the heart of the believer. Saul said, the heart and the breast are like the throne and the seat. That there are four mingled factors that dwell together in man's nature and make up, and therefore four kinds of qualities are united against him. These are the qualities of the beasts of prey, Sabuaya, brutish qualities, Bahimaya, demonic qualities, Shaphanaya, and lordly qualities, Rabbaniah. Insofar as anger rules over him, he is overcome by the deeds of a beast of prey, such as enmity, detestation, and attacking people by beating and cursing them. Insofar as appetence rules him, he is overcome by brutish acts of gluttony, greed, carnal desire, and so on. Insofar as there is within his soul something lordly, as God, the Exalted, has said, the Spirit is by the command of my Lord. 17-85. He claims lordship for himself and loves mastery, superiority, exclusive, and despotism in all things, and to be the sole ruler, and to slip away from the noose of servitude and humility. He longs to study all branches of knowledge, nay, rather he claims for himself knowledge and gnosis and the comprehension of the real nature of things. He rejoices when knowledge is attributed to him, and is grieved when accused of ignorance. The comprehension of all realities, and seeking to rule by force over all creatures are among the lordly qualities, and man is greedy for them. Insofar as he differs from the beasts in having the faculty of discernment, although sharing anger, gadab, and appetence, shawa, with them, he attains to demonic qualities. Thus he becomes wicked and uses his discernment in the discovery of ways of evil. He seeks to attain deceit and cunning, and sets forth evil as though it were the characteristics of demons. Every man has within him a mixture of these four qualities, i.e., lordly, demonic, beastly, and brutish, and all of these are gathered together in the heart. So there are gathered inside of a man's skin, as it were, a pig, a demon, and a sage. The pig is appetence, for the pig is not blamed for his color, his shape or appearance, but for his covetousness, his voracity, and his greed. The dog is anger, for the carnivorous beast and the savage dog are not dog and beast from the standpoint of their appearance or color or shape, but because the spirit and meaning of this bestial quality is savagery and enmity and slaughter. Now within man there is the savagery and anger of the beast, and the greed and lechery, shabak, of the pig. Thus the pig through gluttony invites man to excess and abomination, and the wild beast by means of anger calls him to oppression and harmful acts. The demon continues to stir up the appetite of the pig and the wrath of the wild beast, and to incite the one by means of the other, and he makes their inborn dispositions appear good to them. The sage, who represents the intellect, is in duty bound to ward off the plotting and guile of the demon by revealing his deception by means of his, i.e., the sage's, penetrating insight and evident clear illumination, and to destroy the gluttony of this pig by setting the dog over him, for by means of anger he breaks down the assault of appetence. He wards off the savagery of the dog by setting the pig over him and bringing the dog in subjection under his rule. If he does this successfully, his affairs are set right. Equity is manifest in the kingdom of the body, and all proceeds on the straight path. But if he is unable to overcome them, they overcome him and bring him into servitude, and so he continues to seek crafty tricks and careful plans to satisfy his pig and please his dog. Thus he is constantly in servitude to a dog or a pig. This is the condition of the majority of mankind whenever their primary concern is for the belly, loins, and vying with the enemy. The strange thing is that he disapproves of idolaters worshipping stones, whereas if the veil were removed and his true state were disclosed and his true condition set before him as it is set before mystics, either in sleep or when awake, he would see himself standing before a pig, now prostrating himself before him and again kneeling, awaiting his signal and his command. So whenever the pig is roused up to seek the satisfying of any of his appetites, the man is sent forth at once to serve him and to bring that for which he lusts. Or else the man would see himself standing before a savage dog worshipping him, obeying him and giving ear to his demands and requests, and carefully planning schemes to render obedience to him. Thus he endeavors to please his demon, for it is he who stirs up the pig and arouses the dog and sends them forth to bring the man into subjection. In this way he worships the demon in his worship of these two. So let every servant watch over his times of activity and of inactivity, his silence and his speech, his rising up and his sitting down, and let him look to them with careful insight, and he will find, if he is honest with himself, nothing but an effort all day long to serve these base impulses. This is the utmost oppression, for it makes the possessor possessed, the Lord lorded over, the master a slave, and the conqueror conquered, in that man forces the mind that is worthy of lordship, conquest, and rule to serve these low impulses. And undoubtedly from obedience to these three qualities are spread to the heart that are heaped up thereupon, so that they become a dirty stain and a rust that is destructive and deadly to the heart. From obedience to the pig of appetence there result the following characteristics: shamelessness, wickedness, wastefulness, avarice, hypocrisy, defamation, wantonness, nonsense, greed, covetousness, flattery, envy, rancor, rejoicing at another's evil, and so on. As for obedience to the dog of anger, there are spread thereby into the heart the qualities of rashness, squandering, haughtiness, boasting, hot temper, pride, conceit, sneering, disregard, despising of creatures, the will to evil, the lust of oppression, and others. In regard to obedience to the demon through obedience to appetence and anger, there results from it the qualities of guile, deceit, craftiness, cunning, deception, violence, fraud, mischief, obscenity, and such like. But if the matter is reversed and man overcomes all these, bringing them under the rule of the lordly element within him, then his heart becomes the abode of such lordly qualities as knowledge, wisdom, certainty, the comprehension of the real nature of things, the knowledge of matters as they really are, the subjugation of all by the power of knowledge and insight, and worthiness to advance beyond all creatures because of the perfection and majesty of his knowledge. Then too he dispenses with the worship of appetence and anger, and, by holding in check the pig of appetence and returning him to his proper limits, he acquires such honorable qualities as chastity, contentment, quietness, abstemiousness, godliness, piety, happiness, goodly aspect, modesty, sagacity, helpfulness. By holding in check the power of anger and conquering it, and returning it to its proper limits, man attains to the qualities of courage, generosity, gallantry, self-control, patience, gentleness, endurance, pardoning, steadfastness, nobility, valor, dignity, and others. The heart is as a mirror that is surrounded by these factors which exert their influence upon it. These influences reach the heart in uninterrupted succession. The praiseworthy influences that we have mentioned add to the clearness, shining, illumination, and brightness of the mirror, so that the clear statement of the real, Jaliyat-i-Haq, shines therein, and there is revealed in it the real nature of the thing sought in religion. To such a heart as this is the reference of the prophet in his saying, "Whenever God wills good for a man he causes his heart to exhort him," and in his saying, "The man whose heart is his exhorter has a protector from God over him." This is the heart in which there abides the remembrance, dhikr, of God. God, The Exalted said, Verily in remembrance of God do hearts find rest. 13:28. The blameworthy influences are like a darkening smoke that rises up over the mirror of the heart and is heaped up upon it time after time until it becomes dark and murky and entirely veiled from God the Exalted. This is corrosion and rust. God, the Exalted, said, Nay, but that which they have earned as rust upon their hearts. 83:14. He also said, If we will, we can afflict them in their sins, and imprint their hearts, so that they hear not. Here he connected their lack of hearing with their being corroded by sins, even as he connected hearing with godly fear. He, the Exalted, said, But fear God and listen, 5-108, and fear God, and God teaches you. Whenever sins are heaped up, the heart is corroded, and thereupon it is blinded to the perception of reality and the correctness of one's practice of religion. It scorns the world to come and magnifies this present world, feeling concern for it alone. So if anything concerning the world to come and the dangers therein knocks at its hearing, it goes into one ear and out the other. It does not find an abode in the heart, nor stir it to repentance and to make amends. The prophet said, There are 4 kinds of hearts. A heart that is stripped clean, in which a lamp shines, and this is the believer's heart. A heart that is black and upside down, which is the heart of the unbeliever. A hardened heart bound in its sheath of evil, which is the heart of the hypocrite, and a broad heart in which there is both belief and hypocrisy. Its belief is like green herbage that pure water causes to abound, and its hypocrisy is like an ulcer which purulent matter and pus cause to spread.